and good morning to you. I'm Derek, and sometimes I like to rant. Well, not sometimes, most of the time. Today's little soapbox rant is about bikes. Now, with the warmer weather coming out and the sun shining, there's going to be more and more people biking, which I think is great as long as they're smart about it. So, if you live in Fort Collins, you probably know what I'm talking about. Since it's a very bike-friendly town, there's always those bikers, be it college students or the, over-the-top cyclists that, they are training for stuff. I applaud them because that's crazy. But just listen to the rules because, it says share the road with bikes, which you're supposed to do. But most of the time I see them not sharing the road back, if that makes sense. They're running through stop signs, they're going through stoplights, they're not really adhering to the rules, they're kind of just doing their own thing, and then they give us flack, they get mad at people in vehicles because we're trying to, do our thing, but adhere to them, but they're not adhering to us. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that making sense? I know I'm not alone on this because I've heard some people talking about it. It's just one of those things. If you're going to bike, you are a vehicle. You're a vehicle. You have two wheels. You are a vehicle. So, therefore, you need to stop at stop signs. I don't know how many times I've seen bikers almost get hit in Old Town because they don't stop at stop signs, and then they look at the car like, it's their fault. Well, no, it's not that way. Also, one thing about biking, this is a big one for me. Don't drink and bike. At least you're not driving, but don't drink and bike because it's just as dangerous. I actually had some girl run into my parked car because she was so drunk. And I didn't even know that she had hit my car. I was just sitting in my house, all of a sudden I hear this big crash. I go outside, I'm like, oh, I see her on the ground. I'm like, oh, are you okay? I pick her up, and she's like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. And she's a little drunk. I hand her stuff, and she goes on her way, and then I'm like, you know what? I look at my car, and there's just a scrape going down the side of it. I'm like, oh, man. So, there's just a couple things. If you're biking, just remember, even if you're in town or out on the road, you are a vehicle. And yes, vehicles need to adhere to you, so this is going towards them as well. If you see a biker, give them the space that they need because we do need to share the road. But if you're out biking, also remember that you are a vehicle and you need to adhere to the rules. You stop at stop signs, stop at stoplights, because that's a big problem in Old Town. It's just the bikes going straight through the stoplights. And I'm like, oh my, it just makes me cringe every time because one of these days, one of them's going to get hit and it's not going to be a good thing. So just remember, if you're biking, bike safe and adhere to the rules. And if you're driving, hopefully we can all get along and one another can respect each other, right? It's one of those things. I know I'm not alone on this. At least I think I'm not. Stick around.